Bem-vindos ao nosso espaço, um mergulho profundo nos assuntos mais interessantes de esportes, ciências e temas gerais do momento. Aqui você vai encontrar conteúdo de qualidade, com análises empolgantes e descobertas fascinantes que vão expandir seus horizontes. Nossa missão é trazer informação relevante de forma dinâmica e descontraída. Queremos que você faça parte dessa jornada incrível de conhecimento e diversão. Se gostar do nosso conteúdo, não esqueça de deixar seu like e se inscrever no canal para não perder nenhuma novidade. Ative o sininho também. Aproveite!
If you love science, don't forget to like and subscribe. Imagine walking into a surgery room where the patient isn't a human, but a Venus flytrap. It sounds like a scene from a strange science fiction novel, but researchers have been anesthetizing plants for over a century. Why would a plant, which lacks a brain, a central nervous system, and even blood, respond to the same chemicals that put humans to sleep? This phenomenon is known as the ether response, and it challenges everything we thought we knew about the boundaries between the animal and plant kingdoms. In 1878, the legendary French physiologist Claude Bernard made a startling discovery. He found that a sensitive plant, Mimosa pudica, which usually folds its leaves instantly when touched, became completely unresponsive when exposed to ether vapor. It didn't die, and it wasn't damaged, it simply stopped reacting. Once the ether was removed and the plant was allowed to breathe fresh air, it woke up and regained its sensitivity. This revelation suggested that the phenomenon of anesthesia wasn't just a quirk of the human brain or animal nerves, but a fundamental biological process that spans all life on Earth. But how exactly does it work? To understand this, we first have to look at what anesthesia actually does to us. In humans, general anesthetics work by interfering with the electrical signals in our nervous system. While the exact mechanism is still a subject of intense debate in the medical community, we know that these chemicals interact with the cell membrane. They might bind to specific proteins or change the physical properties of the lipid bilayer that surrounds every cell. This prevents neurons from firing, effectively cutting off the brain's communication with the body and plunging the patient into a state of reversible unconsciousness. Plants, however, do not have neurons. So, why do they care about ether, lidocaine, or chloroform? The answer lies in the secret electrical life of flora. While plants don't have a centralized brain, they are highly electrical organisms. When a Venus flytrap senses a fly landing on its trigger hairs, it doesn't just react mechanically. It sends a rapid electrical impulse, called an action potential, across its leaves. This signal is remarkably similar to the impulses that travel through human nerves. It tells the plant's cells to rapidly change their water pressure, which snaps the trap shut in a fraction of a second. When modern scientists apply anesthetics to these plants, the results are eerie. In a famous study, researchers used ether, lidocaine, and even the laughing gas used by dentists on various plant species. Under the influence of these substances, the Venus flytrap stopped snapping, the mimosa stopped folding, and the sundew stopped its slow, sticky curl toward trapped prey. Even more fascinating was what happened at the microscopic level. The movement of organelles, the tiny organs inside cells, slowed to a crawl. The plant's internal transport system, which usually moves nutrients and signals around, simply parked itself. This suggests something profound about the nature of life. It implies that the mechanism for responsiveness is rooted in the very structure of the cell membrane, which is a trait shared by both you and a dandelion. One leading theory is the Meyer-Overton hypothesis. It suggests that anesthetics dissolve into the fatty membrane of cells, causing them to slightly expand. This expansion physically jams the ion channels, the tiny gates that allow charged particles to flow in and out. Since plants and animals both have cell membranes made of lipids, the anesthetic jams the system in both kingdoms, silencing the electrical talk that makes movement and reaction possible. Another fascinating discovery is that plants actually produce their own anesthetic-like compounds when they are under extreme stress. When a plant is wounded or attacked by insects, it produces substances like ethylene or certain volatile organic compounds that can have a numbing effect on its own tissues or act as a warning to neighboring plants. It is almost as if the plant is trying to manage its own internal state of emergency by modulating its electrical sensitivity. This research has massive implications for the future of human medicine. By studying how plants react to these drugs, we can better understand the black box of human anesthesia. Because plants are simpler models without the complexity of a beating heart or a breathing reflex, they provide a clean environment to study the fundamental physics of how chemicals interact with living matter. We still don't fully understand how general anesthesia works in humans, even though we use it thousands of times every day. The humble mimosa plant might hold the key to that mystery. If a plant can be put to sleep, does that mean it possesses a form of consciousness? Most biologists would say no, at least not in the way we define it. However, it does prove that the machinery of life, the ability to sense the environment and react via electrical signaling, is a universal biological language. We are more connected to the green world around us than we ever dared to imagine. The next time you walk through a garden, remember that those plants are humming with electrical activity, and just like us, they can be silenced by the same breath of ether that puts a human to sleep before surgery. For more incredible facts like this, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications.